Hey, what's up? So I'll be showing in this video how to convert a Rustler into a Bandit. The Bandit is a lot skinnier than a Rustler and it has a lot smaller tires. And there's some people that might want to change it over into the buggy without having to buy an entire RC. So with the Rustler, you're just going to want to start by taking the body off and start taking the tires off. And we'll start on the front end, disconnecting the steering tie rod. It's kind of hard to see. It's just a screw that holds this on. And then remove the front end from the chassis. It's just these two screws. And the three screws on the bottom. Now that we have the front end apart, we can remove the front bottom shocks. The shocks are the same on the Rustler and the Bandit. The rear shocks have different springs on the Rustler. Remove these pins from the arms. And these links. And that's everything from the front of the Rustler, except for the body mount. You won't be needing that. So now we can start installing the front of the Bandit parts. And if you're going from a Rustler to a Bandit, you can use the front spindles from your Rustler, because the Rustler ones are actually better than the Bandit. You just won't be using this hex. And if you're using the Bandit wheels, you'll be using a shorter stub axle too. Alright, so I'll go ahead and install these Bandit arms onto here. And I can install the shocks. And just screw that all down. And when you install these screws, make sure you put the washer behind it. So you put that in. And put the washer, then you can install it. And now it's ready to install back onto the chassis. And just reinstall these steering tie rods and the front end is done. Moving on to the rear, disconnect the motor. And it's just these two screws. And 6 screws on the bottom. And that comes right off. Remove the bottom of the rear shocks. You can remove the shock tower. That way you can get to these screws. And it's just the 2 screws holding the bottom arms. Now you just need to remove these axles. Now moving on to the Bandit parts. First, install the axles. Then you can install the rear arms. The rear shock tower, you will need to make sure and get the Bandit rear shock tower. This has the holes in it compared to the Rustler one, which doesn't have the holes, so you can't mount the wing on a Rustler one. And the shock springs are different. This is the Rustler and these are the Bandit ones. You can use them on there, but it might be stiffer, so I went with the Bandit rear shocks. When you put these on, make sure you put, for these screws, make sure you put the washer behind it. Then you can install them. Just install these 2 screws for the shock tower. Then you can mount the rear shocks on. And then just mount the rear onto the chassis. Okay, now we're ready to install the tires and wheels. Now all that's left is just connect the motor and install the body. thing I forgot to mention in the video was the gearing. The gearing in the Rustler is a 90 tooth spur gear and a 16 tooth pinion, and in the Bandit it's an 83 tooth spur gear and a 21 tooth pinion, so you'll want to change out the gearing too. So that's how you change a Rustler into a Bandit. Be sure to subscribe for more videos. Thanks.